Interesting reading on the people of Gaza. What is covering them is the magician. I feel like, and if you see these two cards either side of them, you can see that they've gone from having just the basics to worrying and in a position of a lack of sleep and misery. And what crosses them is the Ace of Swords. And this is, to me, the challenge that's against them, which is actually a new conflict. And it even says on the card, new conflict. I'm shown the Knight of Cups at the base. This shows me that they are leading with their heart, very passionate. And I feel like this is the outcome that they want for their people, which is to be a very warm, creative, I feel like their own nation. They have a lot to offer. But I feel like right now it's out of their hands. And I am shown a man who is the authority over them and has a great deal of, I feel like, where we're shown back here with the Ace of Pentacles in their past, there's a financial interest that he has in maintaining authority over them. To me, that is the persons, but in particularly a male leader, I feel, of Hamas. Now, in their environment is great pressure, great struggling, heaviness. That makes sense given that you have people that are either stuck there or who are trying to flee and enduring tremendous hardship. So that makes sense. But what is interesting is that the hopes are that they can work together. This is not talking about Hamas. This is talking about the people of Gaza. They want to work with other people. They want to create and rebuild. And I believe with the Empress as their final card that they will and be very prosperous. But again, I'm sensing a very feminine energy. And again, I feel that a lot of the women will be the ones to be integral in this, be important. The mothers, and just this energy in general. Now, this is further off down the line for them. The two cards for clarification I got are planning and a multi-generational family community with the Ten of Pentacles that will, in time, with effort and tending, flourish. And we get that promise combined with the Empress and the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. But they're going to have to get rid of this leadership that is holding over them. And I believe that with the outcome shown as it is, that they eventually will. But they have to have had it with them. The people will have to end it with Hamas. And I think they will be after this at that point, because they are at the 10 of the wands. So that is a final number. And they get the 10 of Pentacles further off in the future here. Much better system, much better overall well-being, physically, mentally, so on and so forth. So I do also want to say that I feel that they will eventually get their own nation. I do. I think they will get their own land, their own space. But right now, things are going to be very, I'm sorry, but you will just hear about new lows for them until they turn over. It looks like this leadership that's very controlling, very frankly greedy, um, and I don't think helpful at all. The people are suffering while the leadership is making sure they're taken care of. So they will have to come back from this, of where they're not so taxed mentally and physically, energetically. And that, of course, will take some time. And that's probably why we have the Empress and the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, which is planning and tending and making a lot of work, a lot of effort to rebuild and tend to this new growth. And the Empress is often pregnant. So if we think about it almost as a pregnancy, that they are enduring the hardship now, but eventually they will, quote unquote, give birth to a new, I feel like a new nation, and maybe one that's more feminine, has more feminine energy, really established in it, that is much more nurturing and better cared for and tended to, I feel like, their needs. So there may be more women that will lead the helm in the future. Just a thought. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. And heck, maybe this is even her in the future crowning them. Maybe this is a feminine energy that rises to help them. But it's still down the line yet. They're still going to be going through difficulties, the hardest of the hard. Mentally and energetically, especially, they are taxed to their limit. And it's interesting too with the Ten of Wands, and this is their environment, that there's a city or town in the distance, but here they are carrying all these wands. It just reminds me of them trying to flee, and what they're having to deal with is just so sad. But we wish them the best, and definitely a change in who is leading them, because that's got to happen. And I see it happening. So there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel for them, but they will have to be willing to let go of this. And I see them as I've said, this is going to be so hard that it's going to change people's minds about who's in charge. That's something another day to read upon, how that will come about. But big picture, in a quick reading, they will end up, I believe, with their own nation and land, and they will do well. But they're going to have to go through the worst in order to get it and rebuild and get rid of people that don't have their better interests at heart, that are just using them as fodder. So that's my reading. Thank you. If you appreciate this reading, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, which needs it. YouTube plays its funny games. So anyway, thank you, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye-bye.